Hey everybody, this is Coach K. People who might not know me, I was uh, I was raised out in Connecticut. I was a multi-sport athlete through high school. I had Division II and Division III offers for collegiate basketball. I chose to play for Eastern Connecticut State University. I played only 2 years, 2-year starter, and unfortunately, um, I only played 2 years. I had multiple concussions between high school and college, which ended my career short. But my love for the basketball and the game of basketball has never stopped. I unfortunately don't play anymore, but I have studied the game my whole life, and I have coached not just on the East Coast, but now in city of Chicago for the freshman sophomore team at Disney to Magna High School. I wanted to share a video because I just watched basketball today and how the game has evolved and changed. But there's some things that will never ever change, whether it's a sport of basketball or football or whatever team sport. I'm a studier of the game, and I study the best coaches, whether they died many years ago like Vince Lombardi or John Wooden, or the coaches of today like Gino Auriemma, Pat Riley, Bill Belichick, Greg Popovich, and I study the best. And I don't look for guys that, oh man, they're pretty good over here at this school, and then when they go to a big time school, they don't win. Urban Meyer, he wins anywhere he goes. Greg Popovich, he 22 straight years making the postseason. Greg uh, um, Greg Popovich, and then you look at Bill Belichick. And something that really sticks out to me is this. All those great coaches and organizations, they never ever use the term rebuilding, the process. Winning organizations have a winning culture and winning attitude. And it's all the time. Like Vince Lombardi says, it's not a sometimes thing, it's an everyday thing. And when I see the Philadelphia 76ers and why they keep losing, even with these superstars on their rosters, because their foundation was built on losing. They tanked so they could go higher up in the draft. They lost on purpose so they could gain even more draft picks. And I looked at the creation of their team. They had zero veteran leadership. They had zero leadership from organizational aspects. And their whole culture was built on losing. So then all of a sudden, a few years later, you're like, man, why can't they win? Because they've been taught how to lose all through the course of these years. And I look at Joel Embid. He could dominate the NBA. Could literally put up 35 and 15 every single night. But he chooses to, number one, not get his body in condition. He needs to lose weight every single season. He comes in out of shape. And if he was with Pat Riley's organization, if you come in out of shape, you go before and after practice and you're going to do extra work until your body fat is a certain percentile. That's the type of winning organizations. That's what they do. And I look at Joel Embid, not just is he out of conditioning, he's playing, trying to get himself in shape while the season's going on, but he doesn't have that winning mentality. He should be telling his coach, Brett Brown, put me down low every single play all game. Because thing about basketball, I know there's a three-point evolution that has happened because of Steph Curry, but something that will never, ever change is this. Your style play is dictated by your personnel. So if you have Joel Embid, don't stick him on the three-point line. Put him down low and let him dominate. But it's beyond that. This Philadelphia 76ers, they've swept 4-0. Instead of Joel Embiid stepping up with Ben Simmons out, he just has his regular season numbers. Where's the leadership? Saying it's not just the numbers. It's inspiring the people around you to say, hey, I'm not only going to pick up my play, but you need to do more too. And then I look at Luka Doncic. Here he is, Porzingis out today, and he has a sprained ankle. It wasn't just the numbers. Yes, he put up phenomenal triple-double numbers, but I looked at his leadership. He inspired his men. He's on the sideline clapping when he's out of the game. He's clapping at his teammates on the sideline, encouraging them. That's a leader. Joel Embiid, if you had half of Luka Doncic's leadership at 21, maybe you could have had a chance for the Celtics. And it's not just the numbers. Your body language. Gino Auriemma, something I learned from Gino Auriemma, if you don't got good body language, you're going to sit on the bench. And it matters. People look at your body language. Your teammates look at your body language. And they're going to rally around you or they're not, based on your body language and your leadership. And something I really picked up from Vince Lombardi. The Green Bay Packers were 1-11 the year before he got there. First year, he was 9-7. And he threw off his best player from the team the previous year. And some coaches would never do that. You know why he did that? Because the guy had losing habits. You either have winning habits or losing habits. You either work hard in practice or you don't. And that's the type of leadership that comes from up top. The Patriots have it. The San Antonio Spurs have it. Miami Heat has it with Pat Riley. And just think about it. Have you ever heard those organizations say rebuilding or the process? No, they're trying to win every single game. And it starts in practice. It starts in film study. It starts in showing up on time for the plane departure or showing up on time for film study. It's not a sometimes thing. It's an everyday thing to build that culture of winning. And when you see the Philadelphia 76ers, again, flop in the postseason, it's because they have a culture of losing. I talk to different coaches, whether it's basketball, soccer. I was just talking to one of my brother's really good friends. He's a soccer coach in Massachusetts, and he took over a soccer program, and I'm talking to him, and I have inherited different teams that have a losing culture. In Connecticut, I was at Buller Havens. I was a JV coach, and I took over a pretty good JV program. And first year I coached, we're 18-1. Lost by 2 points for Stratford, who the varsity team that year, they went on to win a state title. Took over a girls program, and now I'm at a school, at a freshman sophomore program. The year before I inherited the program, they only won 1 game. My first year, I won 5. This past year, we won 7. And someone asked me, how were you able to win more games? Was the X's and O's? No, it's not the X's and they do matter. But you know what matters? Leadership. Building a winning culture. All the little things. Show up to school on time. Show up to class on time. Show up to practice on time. Work hard in school. Work hard in practice. Because all those things add up. You can't just turn it on and off. And so when I talk to any different type of coach, for instance, the soccer coach who took over a high school program, he said the same thing. These guys that lose whatever level, they just have losing habits. They turn it on and off. They show up to practice when they want. They work hard some days. No, you got to work hard all the time. You got to show up on time because it all matters. All those little things add up. Can't just turn it on and off. The other thing is this. When I look at Joel Embiid, the difference between him and Luka Doncic. People use the term superstar too lightly. Joel Embiid, I hear people, oh, he's a superstar. No, he's not. A superstar picks up their level, especially in the postseason. You're down your second best player on the team, and his numbers were they're like the regular season numbers. And it's not just the numbers. It's your leadership. It's your intensity. It's your body language. I saw him during Game 3 on the bench, sulking, looking defeated. LeBron James, who I think he's a heck of a ball player. And when I hear people compare him to Michael Jordan, I'm just like, please don't go there. And I'll do another video about why. But one of the things is this. I saw him Game 1, his last finals versus the Warriors, and J.R. Smith made that bonehead play. And I see LeBron James on the bench after that play. You know what his body language said? We lost. And Mike, Kobe, and maybe Luka Doncic, what I've seen so far, he's like, let's go, guys. We got this. That's what his body language would say. That's what he would tell his troops. So leadership matters. And the term superstar is just thrown out there too lightly. And I can say that about Luka Doncic right now. Sprained ankle, down Porzingis, who his right knee was sore. He stepped it up. And it wasn't just his numbers, it was his leadership, inspiring his crew. And he deserved to make that game winner. So one other thing I want to say was leadership. Another example is Allen Iverson and Kyrie Irving. Two of the best little men scorers I've seen in recent time in NBA. I didn't see Nate Archibald led the NBA one year in assists and points per game, but Allen Iverson and Kyrie Irving, man, they could give you 40, 50 any night. But who am I going to take? I'm going to take AI. And the reason? Leadership. AI took like Charles Barkley would say, he took a bunch of Michael Jackson, a bunch of Tito's to NBA Finals. And he did. When he was with the 76ers, he had Mutombo. Who else can you name? Eric Snow? George Lynch? Come on. He took that crew to the NBA Finals. Leadership. Kyrie Irving, what did he do before LeBron got there? 4 straight losing seasons, didn't make his teammates better. Then he goes to a Celtics team, and they lose more games than the previous year, and they had Isaiah Thomas. And then when he leaves, Kyrie Irving, what did the Celtics do? They got even better. And I could go into his leadership style. He tells the New Jersey Nets, tells his teammates in public who's going to be there next year and who's not. Can you imagine being a teammate on that team? And he made a list of who's going to be there and who's not. But it just shows you leadership matters. It does. It's going to matter. It mattered 20 years ago, and it's going to matter 20 years from now. And you're seeing it right now in the postseason. A superstar with Joel Embid and a real superstar with Luka Doncic. I wanted 2 major points today was 1, winning cultures versus a losing culture or the process of rebuilding. A winning culture, the foundation has to be winning all the time. Not just maybe next week or maybe next year we're going to tank. No. Chicago Bulls, they've been rebuilding for 22 years. Instead of paying Mike and Pippen and Phil Jackson, you're like, oh, we're going to rebuild. Yeah, you've been rebuilding for 22 years. Who else has been rebuilding for over 22 years? New York Knicks, terrible front office, poor leadership. They've been rebuilding for a long time. And I'm going to do another podcast about why these winning organizations win. Development of players. But the 2 major topics today I wanted to cover was 1, what did winning cultures matter? They do. And number 2, what's a superstar? What's a superstar look like as opposed to a non-superstar? So I hope you enjoyed the first video that I put up, and you can give me your thoughts or comments. We'll see you. Bye now.